In this video, I'm going to be honest with you. There's no trader that came out of the room knowing exactly how to trade. We all had the same path. We all started from nothing. We all had zero knowledge, but there's some that were left by the wayside, and there's some that still locking in and trying to figure it out, and there's some that have figured this out. These are the things that I wished I knew when I first started trading. These are the things that I told myself that helped me to eventually push to where I was able to get my first payout, my first ever one, which was this. And then I was able to get many more afterwards, many more withdrawals, which I'll show you guys on the screen. But at some point I started from nothing as well. So listen now, just pay attention. For everyone that is struggling, pay attention. And I hope at least one person will be able to at least get something from this video and hopefully get your next withdrawal or even your first withdrawal. The first thing that I didn't know that set me back a very long time was not knowing that I had to gather data for me to be profitable. The gathering data process is one that many of you want to skip, but this is what you're missing. You want to do so much repetition that will be very, very stupid for it not to become a habit. You want to do so much repetition that what you do becomes such a habit. Now, the purpose of the repetition when you're gathering data, and I mean gathering data on your trades, not your live trades, but the trades before you start trading live. This is known as backtesting for those that are just completely new, but you're a struggling trader, so I've seen you've been trading already. This is essential. There is no ifs or buts, and you want to do so much repetition. I've done so many that it is just, I wish you can compete with me. I've done probably over 15,000 backtests manually, one at a time. Each screenshot, each value, each number, rinse and repeat back and back to back to back at 4 a.m. in the morning, late nights, early mornings. And the purpose of this, it might make no sense, but this is so you ingrain what a profitable trade is like into your system. At the end of the day, the reason most of us struggle, I promise you, is not because the strategy isn't working. It is because you are not sticking to it. Every single loss that you take is removing that percentage. At the end of the day, look, a profitable trader is one that is just making, let's say, just over 1% a month, unless you're doing it weekly. So every loss you take is removing that 1%. If you make 2 mistakes in a month, you've already lost 2%. And majority of the time, a profitable trader, a real one, is not doing like 20% a month, right? It could be like 5%, maybe even 3%. So if you make 3 mistakes in 1 month, that's already your 3% gone. So all you're doing every single month is catch up, and you end the month on a drawdown, and you just do this time and time and time and time again. So remember, you want to do so much repetition that you start to identify what's the right setup, what's the wrong setup, what's the profitable setup. And once you understand what the profitable setup is, you then rinse so much repetition of that, so it becomes such a norm that that is the only setup that you are taking no matter what. To be a profitable trader, there's so many metrics that you need to perfect. And even up till now, I'm still backtesting because I'm still on a mission to increase that win rate and profit factor every single time. You can make money, but there's always more money to be made. So even up till now, I now have a journal that I've made personally to give me more data, unbelievable amount of data, that now I'm able to see that overall, this is how much data I have. And then from there, I'm able to find out the best day, the best win rate, the best profit factor type of trades, the best entries, what exact time period should I take this. I'm literally analyzing every single metric. And I do this even up till now, and I'm still doing this daily because I'm on the mission to still make more. So if I'm still hustling to make more, I think you can at least still be hustling to make sure that you get that first result, or your second, or your third, or at least continue to do this consistently, because it's very much possible for you to be profitable before and then somewhere something happened, you messed up, and now you're no longer making money. I'm sure some of you guys can relate. So you want to analyze everything about how you trade, but of course the first thing is find that strategy first, stick with that one. I've been trading supply and demand pretty much since the beginning of my trading career, and I've stuck with it. No matter how difficult it was, I stuck with that, and I've been improving on that every single time. You should be at a point where it's too late to change. Just stick with one. Know the pros and cons of that system and just stick with that and perfect that. As long as there's somebody making money from it, it means you can too. You're somebody that is cooking with supply and demand. That's what I knew about 2-3 years ago. So I figured, you know what? If they're doing it and I like how it is in terms of how quick it is, how simple it is, you don't have to do top-down analysis from like the weekly, all that stuff, it suits how I trade, then that was it. I just needed to figure out what they're doing. But now let's take me to the second thing, which I wish I had, which was patience. I remember when I first started trading, and this was early days. I didn't know what prop firm was. I didn't really want to do demo because demo seemed very boring and didn't make any sense. And I remember I first going to trading because I made £500 by accident. I was on a trade, live account. I started learning with live account because I figured, come on, like the more pain, the quicker I can learn, which was good, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I started with £500 I made by accident because there was news, it went in my direction. I withdrew quickly. I remember this day. That was the start to why I said I'll start trading. I did it that way, so I already started with a bad habit, and you can only imagine how that went. I blew pretty much every single one every time. Literally in less than a week, I was blowing £500. And then let's say 6 months down the line, I knew about prop firms, and I went straight into buying 25Ks, 50Ks because I had a mindset of saying, okay, how much can I make? For 25K, 1%, that was about $250 per trade. So I was just thinking about how much I can make when I'm not even profitable yet. I'm not even confident in how I trade yet, and I was really thinking about the outcome. which was just a mess up because and then I decided 25K wasn't enough. Let me go for 50Ks because, the amount is, maybe it's because the amount is small. That's why I'm being too in a hurry and rushing. And then eventually I went to 100Ks and I was blowing these accounts, man. And that's the problem that most of you guys have because the money is tight. The money is running out. So now there's so much pressure you put upon yourself that you no longer have patience. You no longer can wait because you've lost so much money. You're almost dry. Your pocket is empty. So now you have to get this in like the space of the next month or you're cooked. Trading is a business. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. I'm telling you, it takes time. So if you're still struggling and you've been only trading for 6 months, 1 year, bro, calm down. There's still a while for you to go. Let's just say at least another year on top of that, at least. Depending on how much time you have, most of you guys have a 9 to 5, so it will take time. In my case, I was at uni these days, so as soon as I finished uni, I had time to put in. I was only working, let's say, once a week. I wasn't really making a lot. So it meant that I was able to actually put in all my hours into this. That's why I was able to go from brand new zero trader, nothing, to getting my first withdrawal in 1 year exactly. October 2022 to October 2023. In 1 year. However, I put in a lot of work though. 10 hours a day on the charts. So for most of you guys, that took me 1 year. So for you guys that don't have that much time, you have a job, you have maybe kids, you have school, it might take you more than that. Because I know I was putting in a lot of time. So it might take you a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Unless you do this next thing, which is one thing I wish I did. Again, these are advice I would have told myself. So I'm telling you guys, so you save yourself the mistakes, the money lost, the time spent, and everything else. Now, before I tell you the third one, be sure to subscribe if you found value so far in this video. That's all I ask for, to subscribe. Which takes me to the next one, which is you want to have a job, bro. Having a job, having some kind of income, I'm telling you, it would make you a much better trader. I didn't have a job at this time. I only was making literally the bare minimum. I had one job, 4 hours a week, bro. That was basically nothing. And at this time, thank God I saved a lot of money beforehand. If I didn't, I would have been cooked. But because I had no money coming in, the pressure was immense. So have a job, have a job, have a job. And that job, just put money on the side like you're saving. And then that is what you're going to be putting towards practicing and learning. And why job is so important is because you want to get yourself a mentor. This is one thing I wish I did, but very, very stubborn. I wanted to learn the hard way. I wanted to learn through YouTube because in life, I always taught myself everything, right? I was basically like the only son. It was just me. I had a motto to learn by myself, study by myself, help myself, get there by myself. But at the end of the day, one man cannot run everything. You need people. So I wish I did have someone to help me. If I did, it would have been a lot better. So get yourself someone to help you. I'm telling you, it'll make your life easier. Get yourself someone to help you. And you want to make sure it's the right person though. They need to have a track record. You need to have been watching them for some time and you need to believe in their system. Once you do, then you can use their model. Watch every single video of theirs. Learn everything that you can from them. And once you've done all of that and you're getting there, you're making progress, you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, then you can now reach out to them, maybe get one-to-one mentorship, something along those lines from them personally. Once you've got all of this, I'm telling you, it's going to be a fast track. It's going to be a very, that's when acceleration comes in. That's when something that's going to take you a year, 2 years will now be compressed to months. Because at the end of the day, what took them years to learn, they're now offloading that and giving you all of that literally in hours. Once you've now learned all that, that takes me to the next thing. That is now give yourself a reason to why you really want this. Most of us, let's be real, it's just to make money, buy things that are probably worthless, things that are just vanity, maybe cars, house, I don't know, prove a point to your friends, show off. Yes, those are all great stuff or whatever the case is. Maybe even help your family. That's fantastic. That's good. But the reason needs to be great enough. It needs to be so mighty and powerful that it's going to be the number one reason that stops you from breaking your rules. Profitability comes from psychology and it comes from mastering that. And mastering psychology comes from giving yourself a reason to why you must have your psychology unlocked. So give yourself a powerful reason. Something along the lines of, I remember one of mine was obviously helping my family and all that stuff. That was one. My second was freedom. Like these are good stuff. But even later down the line, because even when you're profitable, you still make mistakes that might cost you a month or so, or, you still make mistakes that are costly, and you don't want to be doing this because as you grow, there's more responsibilities. You have a wife, you have kids and all that stuff. And now I'm now married and I have people to look after, and I even have a newborn as well. You might have seen that on my Instagram. If you haven't, follow me at Sully's Advice on Instagram. You'll see that. That's my behind the scenes of my life and stuff, the fun stuff. But now I have a newborn. And I remember telling myself about a year ago that, okay, Sully, no more little mistakes here and there. And my reason was that eventually I want to teach my son how to be disciplined, if he's going to be a trader, then that's fine. But I'm going to teach him everything that I know. And I can't do that by setting the wrong example. It just wouldn't make any sense. I can't be making mistakes and I'm telling him not to make mistakes. So I just gave myself, I said, okay, cool. I have pretty much a year or 9 months or whatever the case is, right? So this was my reason. I said, I have to be a good example. I can't be that kind of father. Impossible. So with this, I locked in. And I said, for his sake, this ain't happening no more. So I put systems in place. I started to backtest more. That's when I decided to build this journal and everything else, just to make sure I have things in place that will make me extremely confident in the system that I trade and continue to improve on that and only take the best of the best setup. This also allowed me to give more time. I'm not even trading as much anymore. I used to trade 5 days a week. Now I've reduced it. I've made everything more precise, much better. So my psychology is 10-10 most of the time, and then I've been to have more freedom. Everything is just basically better from here. But it started from giving myself a mighty reason to why I'll never break my rules, make mistakes, because I have made mistakes. I've made mistakes many times as well. So I can relate. I've been where you are. And these mistakes have been costly. And the more you make money, the more expensive these mistakes are. Some mistakes has cost me 6 bags in a day, £6,000 in a day. Pretty sure it's pounds, not dollars. This is expensive. So these are the mistakes that you cannot make anymore. You can't afford to. So still be happy that, at the beginning you're losing a bit of money, but you want to fix this now because later on it's going to be more expensive. Once you've now done all of this, now here's the next thing I now want you to do, especially after this video. Go back and reflect. Think back to what your system is, what your take profit is, your stop loss is, your entire model. Write it down. Ask yourself, is this what suits me best? Is this working for me? If it suits you and you're happy with it, you're happy with the RR, it's good in the psychology, waiting for 1-to-1s, it works for you, it helps you with your confidence, then stick with it. If it's 1-to-5s and you're still happy with that, then stick with it. If it's not, just put a little star next to the things that you're not happy with. So if it's the TP, put a little star. Okay, I'm not happy with the fact I'm taking 1 of these. I lose too often and it messes me up, because when I lose, that's when I start, going crazy. Things like that. Put a little star next to it. If it's the stop loss model or even the entry model, maybe you don't like it because you miss a lot of trades. If it's the fact that you have to be on the charts for 10 hours just to find a trade, write that down. If it's swing trading, it doesn't work for you, write that down. Once you've done all of this, you now want to go on the internet and just search. Maybe use ChatGPT or whatever the case is and just find out, okay, I have a trading model, this is what I do. Give me options of other systems or trading strategies that suits what I want. And you then put what you want. I like 1-to-1s and and I like scalping. I like being in and out of the trade quickly. I don't want to spend all day on the charts. Write these stuff down, and then it will give you options on what type of strategy you can go for. That's when you now want to lock in on one of them that you think, okay, this is the best one. Go on YouTube, find out somebody that trades somewhat similar to that. Watch many of their videos until you get the idea that, okay, this is how they trade. It suits me. Once you've now done that, bam, you now have somebody that you can emulate. You can just do exactly what they do. That's as if you are a point where you know that your strategy that you have now is just not working. If on the other hand of this, you like everything how it is right now, then here's what you need to do next. Listen, go and backtest. In fact, I'll even give you something that's going to help you. The exact journal that I made that helped me immensely, right? I have all this analytics and all this data and everything else. What you guys can do, in the description of this video, code Sully, I'm going to give you 20% off it. You get the entire journal, you get the entire risk management system, everything else. Sign up and just go and crank out backtest. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be very, very nice. In fact, just because I'm telling you, I really want you guys to look in. Scrap all that. You're going to get 30 days free trial. 30 days completely free, so you can do as much backtest as you want. Add the screenshot. Give you all the data, everything. Bam. 30 days free trial. I'll leave the link in the description. Use the code 30day and that should give you, I'm pretty sure it'll give you a month free. That's what I need you to do next. And once you've done it for so long, you will start to see that, okay, the model and system I've been trading so far is actually very bad. It will tell you your win rate. It will tell you how bad everything is. It will tell you what you need to do to improve. I'm putting so much emphasis on this because this is what helps. I had clarity. You don't get clarity until you see everything you're doing in one big picture. You start to see that, oh, wow, the trade I've been trading has actually been bad. I've actually been losing money. This whole time I had a 20% win rate because you guys don't track how you trade. You don't track what you do. You don't know. It's hard to see. Once you've done maybe 500, 1,000 trades or backtest, it is long. Guys, this video here is for people that actually want this and want to put in the work. If you're not, you'll probably just probably forget. If you want to put in the work, then do everything I'm telling you. 500 to 1,000 backtests, crank out, spam, do as many as you can. Because now that's when you start to see the big picture. 10, 15, 20 backtests, but that's nothing. 100, good, you're getting somewhere, but you need to do more. You start to see what's going wrong and what you need to improve. Me, myself, I've started to see, wow, like, okay, this is how I go from, 60 to 65 to 70% to 75%. I realized it's possible because once I started to do my back test, both the good and the bad trades, just all type of trades that I've been taking, good, bad, everything, so it can give me as much data on what's bad and what's good, not just the good trades. You want to do both the good, the bad, every type of trades and setup that you take. I started to realize that, okay, trading Mondays has been horrible. This whole time I don't really know because I just trade week by week. I don't really go back to look at the big picture, but I realized trading Mondays has been the worst. Compared to the other days, Mondays has been poor, very horrible. So I realized, you know what? Trade less days. It's fun to trade, yes, but trade less days. Mondays are just costing me. So I've just taken out Mondays. Now I don't trade Mondays. But this took work. It took effort. It took hours of backtest. You have to put in the work. And now I'm going to put even more and more and more to where I want to get to about 10K worth of trades. That's going to be a lot of effort. But if you want that freedom, if you want to make that kind of money to reach and accomplish the goals that you've set earlier and your why and everything else, bro, you have to put in the work. For those of you guys that work in 9 to 5, do this after work, man. It's not an excuse. You only need to sleep 4 to 5 hours, especially if you're young. Well, 4 hours, 5 hours, do that for like a month. You start flying. 8 hours of sleep is a joke. 7 is even a joke, especially if you're a teenager, wasting time. So these are the things you need to look in on. And at the end of all of this, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up, because I've been when you were. I've started from brand new, fresh meat. I remember my journey up till now. Look at my YouTube video. You see how well I came from. You see the beginning. You see when I was investing in dividend stocks and I was making 1p, 2p, and I was glad and I was happy. You see when I first started trading and I started using a trading bot and I lost all my money. You see the beginning. It's all there. I didn't just land, come from heaven, bam, with knowledge and wisdom and just started, it doesn't work that way. We all start from the same place. So if I can do it, I'm nobody. You can do it as well. Just don't give up. Just do everything you've been told. Lock in, mean business, and just have a tiny extra bit of work ethic that you really want to, put in the effort to get this. And eventually, how long it takes, you will get to it. It might take you longer than others, but that's why the patience part is important, because you will get to it eventually. It's just patience and listening to instructions and doing what you are told, because if you just end up making the same mistakes you've been making anyway, you're not going to get it. So just do everything I've told you so far. And once you've done all of that, I want you to DM me, Sully's advice, and let me know how it's going.